This is the Cajas National Park in the south of Ecuador. What a landscape, man. Super beautiful. But it is freaking cold up here. Snowflakes in the air. Well, okay, no wonder we are here in a height of about 4,000 meters.
Yeah.
We plan to sleep up here, but not sure about that. Maybe we drive back to Cuenca and sleep there. Let's see.
Sawadee Ciao, and welcome to Next Horizon Overland. We are Jill and Ernst, and we are living and traveling full time in our 2P.
So after hanging around a week in Cuenca, we are on the move again. Actually, we didn't plan to hang around that long in Cuenca, but man, is that a cozy city. And the camping we stayed is also super cozy with that park beside along the river. Can have a walk after the meals. That is simply a very beautiful place. Once we are getting old, maybe we settle there. Let's see. This last night we have spent at the archaeological site Santa Ana la Florida. Man, that was interesting. It's a small site, but very important one.
¿De qué? De cacao. Los análisis paleobotánicos dieron como positivo que aquí se tomó almidones de maíz.
The guy there, because Julio explained the whole thing. He is the archaeologist which started all that project and maintains it till nowadays. And man, that's interesting because that is the oldest ever evidence of use of cacao.
¿Qué nos están diciendo? Mira, donde vive esta concha, del hábitat de esta concha, de ahí salimos, de ahí somos, de ahí emergimos, de ahí brotamos. Eso es lo que está diciendo.
There was people living about 5,500 years ago, and they came up from the coast of Ecuador and settled there in those mountains. And beside the housings, they also found the graveyard. They digged out skeletons there, and they found beside the skeleton of a priest a bottle, a flask, which still had some cacao inside. With the radiocarbon method, they dated that 5,500 years old. Amazing, you know.
¿Ya? Y aquí le puedes ver.
Sí.
¿Ves que la frente, mira dónde tiene la parte de la frente.
Sí, increíble, ¿no?
Increíble, claro.
So, nowadays they claim, if it is true or not, you never know with science, but they claim this is the origin of cacao. Well, okay. Fact is, this is the origin of cacao until they find an older evidence. That's how it is with science. But so far, this is the origin of cacao. Man, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Here we are now on the last kilometers in Ecuador. The border is just about 11 kilometers down that road. A rough mountain trek. Some small little villages on the way, but then that's it. That's really more or less in the nowhere. But now we are looking forward to a new country, Peru.
Seems to be.
Ah, bueno, ¿dónde está la inmigración? Atrás, ya lo pasamos. Gracias. So that's the international bridge to Peru. So here we are, new country, Peru. Yeah, man. Doesn't take long. It's about the customs, immigration, everything. 1 hour roughly, 1 hour 15. So easy. Easy.
Both sides.
Yeah. What they don't do on this small border here is an insurance, and we have to have an insurance, mandatory, but they don't do it here. So he told us to drive to the next town, 150 kilometers, but be careful, he said. You don't have an insurance. You have to have one, but you don't have.
Drive carefully.
Drive carefully. So that's what we are doing. That's our first city in Peru. And man, the traffic is wild. We are 1.8 kilometers away from an insurance. I hope we do that without accident, man.
You can see the riding on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement.
This is Kuélap, a walled settlement located in the mountains in the southern part of the region of Amazonas, Peru. It was built by the Chachapoyas culture in the 6th century on a mountain ridge.
Human occupation at the site starts in the 5th century, but the majority of structures were built between the years 900 and 1100. The city may have had some 3,000 inhabitants, but was abandoned in 1570s due to the Spanish conquest. As a consequence, the city deteriorated and was covered by jungle.
Now here is a reconstruction of a house. Let's go and have a look. Looks like they buried that in their own house. That's it. I'm already tired. Now we go back home and cook something delicious, innit?
Yes.
We can stay here at the visitor center. I think that's convenient. Let's do it. So here we are driving from Kuélap down to the main road. That road up to Kuélap is a bit sketchy, a bit scary, because many times there is just at the side of the road a huge abyss. It's a bit rainy, but luckily the road is sandy and gravel, so it is not slippery. So much about the good news. So, was is coming up. We drive now to Cajamarca. I don't think that we reach it today because it's about 300 kilometers and the road down in the valley, the main road, is quite rough. But let's see how far we get. We have to cross a mountain range, goes nearly up to 4,000. Let's see where we end up today.
We end up somewhere.
Yeah. There's always the same question. Where are we going to sleep tonight? Well, in the car, of course. Where else?
But of course.
Man. That's the road from Kuélap to Cajamarca. And I tell you, to be honest, I can't remember that we ever drive such a bad road within 3 years of overlanding.
That's probably the worst.
That is probably the worst. So whenever you drive from Kuélap to Cajamarca, you need to be patient, man. And on top we have a weather, heavy rains and fog on 3,300 meters above sea level. First we had the idea we can drive within a day to Cajamarca.
Get it.
Forget it, man. There is no way. If you can do 100 kilometers on that road, that is a tough day job. No doubt. We drive here with
10.
15 to 20 kilometer average an hour. Man. I have to drive through in first gear. And it gets even worse. And the weather makes you think about Noah and his ark, isn't it? Man, what a ride, huh? What a ride, man. Oh, you have to be so concentrated. Now the road didn't get really better, but on top it got scary. Luckily the weather is better now. Doesn't rain that strong anymore. look down, man. I vomit, pee and poo at the same moment, I tell you. Then you see those signs every kilometer, slow traffic, keep right. That is like reality satire, man. So finally we have decent road again. I knew they can make decent roads here in Peru. Yeah, now is about 90 kilometers to Cajamarca. I think latest in 1.5, 2 hours we are there. There is a decent campground. And I think then we hang out for a day there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because now we drive through since Cuenca. I think that's the 8th day now we are driving. It's time to have one day rest. Yeah, man. So here we are after 8 days driving from Cuenca in Ecuador. We have arrived to Cajamarca in Peru. Man, that was a super beautiful drive. I loved those mountain roads there. They were scary, but man, we are not going to forget that hour. Not in our lifetime, I tell you. So, for that episode, that's it. What's coming up next? We are going to drive down to the coast, drive then the famous Cañón del Pato, go to visit Caras and the Cordillera Blanca, and so on and on and on. Stay tuned, come back to our channel, and we love you. Yeah, man. Bye.